Hey everybody, back again with another edition of Nashville Notes, brought to you by the Dance Advantage and Line Dancer magazine. And I am thrilled to be here with Jaime Dudney, the daughter of country superstar Barbara Mandrell, and more importantly, a dear friend. And we're going to talk about some of the amazing things that you've been doing over the last couple of years, really. And I'm going to let you kind of take the ball and run with it, because I'm just so impressed with the traveling that you've been done and the organizations that you've been involved in.
Thank you, Darian. Well, last year, some friends of mine from church went down to Mbita, Kenya, which sits right on Lake Victoria. It's the second largest lake in the world. And these two wonderful missionaries named Don and Nancy Richards have started this organization and run this camp that they've named S.E.E.K, which stands for Suba Environmental Education of Kenya. And what S.E.E.K does, and what Don and Nancy do, is they teach the locals, the Kenyans, how to take care of their land through the environment by planting trees. And because if you don't plant the trees, then you have floods and droughts. And then they also focus on the youth in the area and the orphans. 1 in 4 children are orphaned by both parents from HIV/AIDS. And then they also help the widows, because the widows, they feel hopeless and they don't know how to take care of themselves properly and make money to feed their children. And so Don and Nancy, through S.E.E.K, have taught them how to do things like make baskets and sell jewelry and have a goat farm for goat's milk, because goat's milk is one of the things that helps cure children. And I say cure children of HIV/AIDS. Under the age of 18 months, through nutrition, through goat's milk, and through medication given by the government of Kenya. These children under the age of 18 months will have no trace of HIV in their blood. It's a miracle.
Now, tell me if I'm wrong, these two folks that you're speaking of, they started a camp, right? And that is where these people go and they sort of mentor them and really teach them these things. And tell us about a little bit about the camp itself.
Well, through volunteers and other missionaries and donations, they've been able to build these cabins, and they house the youth in that area, and they get to come stay with them for 2 to 3 weeks. And of course, they get fed with food and also spiritual feeding as well. And they give these children hope. And just to be able, you know, when I went there, just to be able to look these kids in the eye and say, I love you, God loves you, you're going to be okay, you're safe here. And just the hope that springs in their eyes it's priceless. And as Americans, as we were as missionaries to go down there, we just gained so much more than we could have ever given them.
Well, the one thing that you mentioned to me, and this absolutely breaks my heart, you talked about the kids lining up. And just long lines, waiting to just get a hug from somebody. And I can't imagine. I would want to take them all home with me.
You really do want to take them home with you. And fortunately for me, I couldn't do that, because I'd say, you're coming with me and you're coming with me. But then again, how do you pick and choose? But yeah, these children, like I said, they're orphaned by both parents. So there'll be an 8-year-old child holding hands with his 3-year-old brother and his 2-year-old sister and taking care of his brother and sister. No shoes, no security, no food really, but they've got the love of God in their hearts and they're happy. And when I got back home from Kenya, back to the States, I realized, my goodness, I don't need this TV. I don't even need air conditioning or ice cubes. I did miss ice cubes when I was down there. But yeah, the kids, they just want to hug you, and then they'll go get back in line to hug you again. And it's just, it's so precious. But if you look at the big picture of Kenya, it can be overwhelming. And you look and you say, oh my goodness, there's nothing we can do. It's a hopeless cause. And then you look at just the one person in front of you, whether it's a widow or even a man or a child, and you can help give them hope. That one life help give them hope, and then they can help someone else. And so if you look at it from that angle, as opposed to the big picture, just the smaller picture with what's right in front of you, then it seems possible, and hope is there.
And your interaction with one person creates a domino effect.
Absolutely.
Because they'll always pay it forward and take it to the next person, because I know that's happened to me in my experiences. So now you have done an amazing benefit, and you're going to see a little bit later some fun that we had there. there. We had a blast. Just what little bit we could do for you. It wasn't much, but we had so much fun. You and Barry were
such big helps to me because I've never done anything like this before. And God told me, He's like, Jamie, you're going to do this benefit with a lot of my help and a lot of other people's help, and that's exactly what happened.
But you organized it brilliantly,
Thank you.
The talent that was there that night was
amazing.
Unbelievable.
It changed musical lives that night.
Absolutely.
And more importantly, changed the Kenyans' lives. You know, we passed around a bucket to buy a chicken for $5, a fat chicken. Skinny chickens are $1.50, but we charge $5 for the fat chickens.
Now, let me ask you on that note, because and I'm interrupting you, but you mentioned that we purchased chickens. You also mentioned goats. And then stud goats.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting, doesn't it? But now these things are things that help these folks really thrive and have a life for themselves. More importantly, if some of the folks that are watching this can get involved, what do they do if they want to go and they want to purchase these animals as a gift? What can they do to do that?
That would be amazing, because even $5 goes the longest way in this camp. They can go to www.missionwild.org and click on the donate button. But more importantly, just to learn about the organization and to get inspiration. If you don't want to help S.E.E.K, then you can go into your community and help people, and it's so rewarding. And really, what can be more important?
Very true.
So I just once I went to Kenya, by day 3, I was like, oh my goodness, this is the reason why I'm here, is to go back to the States and do this benefit. And I think we raised a little over $15,000.
Amazing.
Oh, and with the guitar that Mom and Aunt Erlene and Aunt Louise signed, we'll raise even more money.
That's right.
And like I said, it goes such a long way. And Don and Nancy, they don't have a lot of financial support. They have done this on their own. Don is an 80-year-old man that became a missionary in his 50s, and they've dedicated their whole life to S.E.E.K in this camp. And it's pristine, and the pride that the Kenyans take when they work in the camp is just, it's beautiful. And they give about 30 Kenyans a job every year. And besides that, they just help so many children and so many widows. For instance, the chicken fund and the goat fund that we raised here at the benefit tonight, I know in particular one widow named Rosemary is going to get her own stud goat.
Wow.
And her own female goat, so she can raise goats and raise milk and then be able to sell it in return. And now she can provide for her family.
That's amazing.
Because the widows had to provide for their family in other ways.
Things that we don't like to talk about.
Things that we really don't like to talk about. And that's how HIV and AIDS are spread rapidly. 42% of the Kenyans that you see in that area admit to having HIV, but it's a much higher number because it still is a stigma there.
Right.
You wouldn't think it would be because so many people are infected, but it's still a shameful thing and an embarrassing thing. But once they find the love of God and realize I have nothing to be ashamed of, and I can be redeemed, and I can change my life around, and I can help this person, then it's lifted up.
And of course, finding their self-worth through being able to sustain their own lives and to take care of the family that they do have.
Absolutely.
It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. You, one person, are touching so many lives.
Oh, it's all God, and it's a pleasure, and it's an honor, and it's important.
Well, He's truly using you as a vessel, and I'm just pleased that Barry and I could be a part of it. It's exciting.
Oh, no, thank you so much, Mary, and I love you and Barry so much.
We're going to go to that wonderful interview that we talked about with Barbara Mandrell and Louise and Erlene, and there was a little bit that was edited out that our wonderful cameraman took out. That
I heard you fell.
I did. Yeah. I did.
Well, I'm really surprised that you and Barry could get a word in edgewise with Mom, Louise, and Erlene. They love to talk.
It was very challenging.
Mandrell's like the spotlight, right?
They do. But we had a ball, and so stay tuned and you'll see a little bit of that coming up next.
Well, we want to wish Jamie much continued success and many blessings as she continues her mission work for S.E.E.K. Well, it's a historic night here in Nashville. It's September 2nd, 2010, and Brooks and Dunn, they're doing their last concert here in Nashville. And we get to interview and chat with the beautiful and world-famous Mandrell sisters, Barbara, Louise, and Earlene. Hi, ladies. How are y'all?
Great to see you. They're beautiful. Both of you are
listen to you.
Both of you are beautiful.
You all just look stunning. Let us just start by saying you
We're
look
here for a very
beautiful.
fun, casual evening that'll be doing all of our, it already is doing our hearts a lot of good because it's raising money for the orphans and the widows in Kenya there and helping. And it just, how wonderful, what a blessing to get to have fun and yet do something good.
Absolutely.
You know? So
yes.
this is great.
Amen. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. When was the last time the three of you all were together like this? Has it been a while?
All three of us, yes. We see each other, usually it's two at a time. That's about.
We did do the shotgun shoot because we all love shotgun sports, which was about, I don't know how many months ago, to honor our father who had passed away last spring. So we get together, besides just family holidays, we got together this second time this year.
It's not often, but I spent a lot of time with both my sisters.
The thing is, I retired almost 13 years ago.
Right.
They are not retired. And Louise, in fact, is in the midst right now of rehearsal and getting ready for a huge Christmas show that happens at the Opryland Hotel in the big ballroom.
Right.
And it's wonderful what she does. And there's lots of dancing in that show.
Right.
And I mean good, strong, dangerous, I might add. But
Yes.
but I think we always, all three of us, back when we were doing our television show, I think that's what we loved so much too, was the dancing we did, and our partners were superb. I mean, famous. One of them is now a big actor in Italy, big time, where they, like the Beatles, where they chase him and mob him. And my partner of all those years became a choreographer. And he choreographed, and he was also, you know, the Michael Jackson video of "Beat It," where when they tied their wrists together, and well, the guy that the other guy was tied to. Well, how would you know? How would I know? I don't know how to. Vince Patterson is his name. Anyway, he has directed. Now he's a director, and. They all went on to be very, very famous, our dance partners.
Yes.
And
They should have taken us with them.
isn't that the truth? But the thing is, I think I think you'd agree with me, Earlene and Louise. Our partners were so superb and so fantastic and polished that even when we did what one would call dangerous lifts, I was never scared. Were you?
Hardly ever.
No, I love that I didn't have to learn the steps.
Yeah, if you do a lift or something, you're.
Well, we grew up watching Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters show.
You
Thank
are
you.
amazing dancers. I'm a
Oh, well,
huge
thank
fan.
you. Thank you so much. Well, we've actually stepped out on the floor before, you and I. We had a great time
Yes.
out there.
Now,
so-
you're not jealous of that, are you?
No, but that was very forcibly, because I remember your face that night. We were taping a show, and Barry went up to Louise and said, "Since you're here, I think you should get out and two-step with me." And her face was, "Really?"
She was awesome. You follow so wonderfully, and so many times, ladies, don't take this personally.
What girl would not follow you?
Oh, listen to you.
Anywhere and everywhere.
Am I blushing yet? Okay, well, Barbara, we know, you retired back in '97. We saw Last Dance, and it was truly phenomenal. Yeah, so what are you doing? I know folks are wanting to know, what are you doing these days?
I'm a full-time housewife, homemaker, and all three of our children are grown, but I'm privileged and blessed to say they come every week. We see them all, and they're all real busy and leading exciting lives. And even my niece and my nephew and niece, we're to have a family, like, it's our treasure. It's just our treasure.
Amen. We have great kids.
So, Louise, you have your Christmas show coming up, correct?
Yes.
And then Earlene, tell us what you're doing as well, because it happens here at the
Besides
Palace,
the
right?
West, and so I travel outside of the country some and do outdoor shows. I host a show most of the year here at the Nashville Palace. On weekends, I want everybody to come out and see how great it is here. And it's always a lot of fun. I don't always have my sisters with me, though. They could come if they wanted to, though, right?
Tell them the big news.
I just got engaged, too.
Congratulations! You guys heard
I'm
it
very
first.
happy. His name is Bruce Gibson. He's a wonderful man, and he won't be able to make it tonight, but, I'd love for everyone to meet him sometime.
Would you please tell them some other big news? My niece Vanessa, your daughter, your oldest daughter, what does she do for a living?
Okay, and Vanessa will be here later tonight. She couldn't be here on time because she is teaching ballroom dancing. But she's also singing and performing too. So
yes, we're actually going to go out and visit with her out in Portland. She's going to have one of her Friday night socials, and we're going to go out and dance with her.
Perfect.
So,
That'd be great.
We're excited. We're excited to do that. Well, let me ask you this. Because we are trying to raise money for S.E.E.K, we have a guitar here from the Nashville Palace, and we want to know if you all will sign it on camera here. And we're going to put this on the homepage of the Line Dancer Magazine website, and then people can just click on the link to eBay, and then that way there they can go ahead and bid on it. So this will be a one-of-a-kind guitar. First of all, the people here at the Nashville Palace were so gracious in giving the guitar, and now you get to witness the authenticity of the three Mandrell sisters actually signing it. So bid heartily, yes. Okay, one more thing I have to do, Barbara, that's a little bit like a shameless plug here for myself. Back in 1977, I actually did a fair with you in Brooklyn, Connecticut.
Oh my
Now, we can't make fun of the hair here on either one of us,
yes,
okay?
Oh my word.
And I was wondering if I could have you sign this for me while we're here.
Look at you and look at me. We have the same hairdo.
I know, I actually look like the Dutch boy.
Can the camera see this?
Absolutely, yes.
I'm going to show it to all of our friends that are watching.
Back in 1977.
His hair looks like mine, doesn't it? Just different color. I think we have the same stylist. Oh, this is something.
I knew there would be like a hair joke somewhere in there that we would.
Let me sign it off camera because my lap is a little lumpy.
That would be great. I would love to do that so that I can treasure that forever.
Well, I hope people know how... I know they know how much fun dancing is, but I hope they realize how good it is for you. And it's just the most fun way to get the best exercise.
Absolutely.
I know that I never had a weight problem when I was working because I danced. But boy, I got a weight problem going on now.
Yeah,
you know what
right.
I'm saying? I don't dance a lot around the house, okay? But keep up your dancing, and like sometimes, if there was a really difficult step in the choreography, something really that you find it most difficult to do, I know I'm speaking for me, but I bet y'all would say the same. You just keep demanding it of yourself, and all of a sudden it's going to click in and you're going to have it and it'll make sense. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah. You know, I do think though the most asked question I've had in the last 2 years is, why don't you do Dancing with the Stars? But I have been for years, Dancing with the Stars.
There you go.
And it's fun.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you all really didn't have any background in it when you first started, did you?
No, what did you mean by that?
No, we were not dancers. We hadn't danced.
I think they figured that out.
Yeah, well, we're actually showing some clips of this right now. So we've got some clips from the show where you all
I
are
remember
doing...
our choreographer who passed on several years ago now, at only 53 years old. Scott Salmon was so wonderful and so loving and so patient. But Scott, there was, I think it was our second or third show that we did. Dolly Parton was one of our guests. And he did a number with a duet with Dolly and I, Can't Buy Me Love. And he used two male dancers, one of which ended up being Vince Patterson, my partner. But he used two males, and all they did with the they were like two mannequins in this scene where she and I were in the set in a store. And at the very end, they put like diamonds just bent over like a robot type of thing and put it around her neck and something around me. I don't remember, but that's all there was to it. And then he had us do like a clog or something in an opening number. We liked it so well, because I was afraid at first that the country audience wouldn't. It was kind of on the cutting edge. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
To put dance.
That's a long time ago.
No, I mean, I'm trying to I'm making a serious point. There was nobody in country music that it really wasn't accepted yet, you know?
Right.
And so we then began to say, no, we want to dance with partners, and we want to, and then we'd push harder and we'd say, we want to do more, didn't we?
Yeah, until you had a dream. And we, with every dance we could possibly think of in 1 week.
Yeah, there was a production number. I literally had this dream one night, and I grabbed, the only thing I could find was a paper sack that I ripped open and just wrote in different I saw us instantly, the music never ending. We started out singing, and we bookended, and we ended singing. But it went from different dance styles, the Charleston, the waltz, the jitterbug, the disco, all these different things, okay? But never stopping. It's just that the camera, when the camera would change, we were in another costume, another hairdo, and so was our partner. And so Scott began to call it Barbara's Dream because we were not a special, we were a weekly series, and this was a very pricey number to do, if you can imagine. So anyway, then Marty Krofft of the Krofft brothers, he started calling it Barbara's Nightmare because it did cost a little bit to do that. And we had to work a lot in 1 week to get all of those many different, but it was, I wouldn't take anything for it.
Oh, no.
Favorite dance number now?
Well, you know, because you're dancers, that it's your job when you're dancing, even if it's the most difficult thing you've ever tackled. The object is to make it look wonderful and fun
And make it look easy.
yeah, make it look easy.
Things you're most proud of, the things you work the hardest for, the things you're most proud of when it's over.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I remember that number because it had such lavish costumes in it and everything. It was incredible. It really was.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
for remembering
is.
it. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
You all have truly been an inspiration to so many, and you definitely have been trailblazers for country music. You brought a whole new audience to it worldwide. And of course, we're going out right now to so many dancers around the world, and this is just so great to be able to talk about dancing
Well,
with
you're
you all
so
as well.
great to take this time with us, and
Oh,
thank you for
it's our
plugging
blessing. Thank you.
what my daughter Jamie's trying to do to help.
We love Jamie. We really do. Yes.
And buying this guitar will make a big difference in a lot of young people's lives.
Absolutely.
It will put food on the table that, even though they don't have a table, it'll give them food. It'll take care of. Yeah, do you realize $30, just $30 will feed one child for a month?
And house them and doctor them, because many of these little children in Kenya and have AIDS, and there's also widows there with their children, and it's hard for us. We're so blessed,
Oh, absolutely.
but
Yes.
it's hard to imagine. But
Yeah, definitely.
to those that a lot is given, I think a lot's expected. You know,
Right,
so
right.
thank you for doing
Thank you
this.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would love to sit, and I know Darian and I would love
5, 6,
to.
7. I know.
Oh gosh. It's like autopilot. Yeah, that's right. Yes, their feet are moving. Well, we know there's so many people here that want to visit with you, and we feel selfish taking all your time like this, but we really appreciate you taking the time to sit and chat with us. I know the dancers appreciate it. We want to raise a lot of money for S.E.E.K,
Thank
so
you.
please go on to the website and click on the link. It'll take you to eBay and put a big bid in there.
Well, this is not very common. Not only it's wonderful that it's a guitar, a really good guitar, but she works, she meets people, she signs autographs, she works, she signs it, she does. I don't work, but I sign a lot of things, and too, my point is to have all three of us. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not trying to be funny.
No,
it's very
totally
rare
agree.
because
Yes.
only time we worked together was on our television show.
Right.
So this is special to have the three of us together. So thank you
Part of that
for letting
historical
us
thing
share.
I'm talking about tonight, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Well, ladies, Barbara, Louise, Erlene, thank you so much. May God bless you, all three of you, and hopefully we get a chance to sit down in the future and do this again.
That would be great. And God bless
Yes.
all of you. Thank you. Keep on dancing.
Yes. All right, dancers, thank you so much for tuning in to Nashville Notes. You've seen a very historical moment right now with all three of the Mandrell sisters together again. We're Barry and Darian Amato. Thanks for watching.